Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today, we are covering Alien 3. But before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea. So I'm doing a repeat. I'm doing the Republic of Tea Turmeric Cinnamon. Which you really can't taste the... I mean, it's like you can smell the cinnamon, but you can't really taste it, interestingly enough.
That's surprising.
Yeah. But it's got turmeric and cinnamon, so...
And I am drinking Republic of Tea's Daily Beauty Blueberry Lavender Tea. And it has blue butterfly pea flower and blueberry, hibiscus, rosehip, bamboo, and schizandra berry.
Thank you to the Republic of Tea for allowing us to continue to do what we love. And for our tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So, the summary of Alien 3. So Ripley is woken up in a all-male prison facility thing, and she learns that she and everyone else was their ship crashed or whatever, and they were taken out cryo sleep, and Ripley is the only survivor. That's right. All of the characters they established in the second one are all dead. So.
Yeah. Bishop is damaged almost beyond repair. He comes back a little bit later.
Kind of.
For a moment. The little girl, Newt, is dead. And the commando guy, Marine dude, is dead.
Yep. So for, entertainment is freaking tough. Honestly, I'm thinking a 6.5 or a 6.75. This movie ticked me off. And whenever it does that from the very beginning, that's not a good start. Because then it has to try and regain my confidence in the movie, and it just did not do that. Them killing both the girl and the Marine guy right off the bat, and then I don't know. I understand it was a male only prison, and these are people that have essayed people and are very unpleasant people. But all of the sex, they haven't seen a woman in years, they're just they're just dangerous, and then Ripley being a hornball, I just they just, at least for me, it seemed like it was kind of a really weird quite a bit of focus of the film. I was like, why? It didn't add anything for me. I was just confused. I will say the xenomorph leaving the cow and going through the hallway, it sounded like a cat.
But yeah.
Oh, yes. It sounded like a cat. And that made me laugh.
I might have to rewatch that part. I don't remember the sound that it made.
But it's just it didn't really bring anything new to the table, and it took so much away that they had already established that I was kind of really pushing through, and they made this movie way too long. It's such a slow movie. Yeah, it's 2 hours.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was really long. There's a part where I'm okay, surely we're close to the end. I still had at least 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
I'm God,
I know the point you were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's it's a very slow movie. It's way longer than it should be. They killed off people that they make you from the second movie immediately in the first. They have Ripley kill herself, which I haven't seen the fourth movie, so we'll see what happens in the fourth movie.
I have.
Yeah, I know they like bring her back.
Yep.
But I'm like, how is that going to work? So
They explain it.
yeah, I know, but yeah. And then all of like the sex hornball stuff is just like, okay. And like the scenes that they had with the xenomorphs of the people getting killed and attacked, it just wasn't either satisfying enough or unique enough or interesting enough for me to be like, yeah, this movie is redeemed. So yeah, this movie, that is why it is a 6.5 to a 6.75. It's like the first movie, second movie, I am definitely very glad that I watched.
Oh, yeah.
This one, I could have gone without. It wouldn't have made a difference in my life. And if anything, I would have been less angry. So,
so this was not a first watch for me. I have watched this many times, but I give this one a 6. It is not my favorite in the series by any means. The second one is definitely my favorite. But it's not bad, and it does definitely lead into the next one, which I honestly don't remember as much about.
I've heard that this one and the next one are like the worst.
Yeah,
of the series.
Honestly, like, you wouldn't necessarily be missing anything if you skipped 3 and 4 altogether. And they start to more become, at this point, more action movies than creature features, like the first 2 really were. Like, there was obviously some action of them trying to kill the things,
right,
especially in the second movie, when there was a whole horde of them. But it still focused more on the creep factor of, oh my god, where is it?
Yeah, and almost like body horror, too.
Yes.
Like, it's inside you, like...
Yes.
Yeah.
This movie started to move away from that because they didn't really have the face huggers, except at the very, very beginning. Where one
he just holds it up and then
one got her in the cryo tube. And the other was apparently just on board and survived the crash and somehow got one of the Ox. Somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. That I was like, what? How?
Yeah. So this movie raises a lot more questions than it answers, honestly. And it's one that, again, could probably just be skipped altogether. It's all right, but it does feel like it drags a little bit, and there's a lot of just talking moments. And again, we have a situation where they don't necessarily believe her and believe that it's there killing people.
Shit like that. And the fact that they've done it before.
She's in the same goddamn situation. And she knows basically how to kill them, but they still don't necessarily listen to her.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they do finally start to listen to her, they go off plan almost immediately and start improvising. And a lot of it goes to shit and a whole bunch of people die. When it could have just been a straightforward thing. So... and a lot of other people die just to sheer stupidity. So it's an alright movie, but if you don't see it, then it's not a huge loss either. If you really love the franchise, though, then it's worth a watch. Maybe 2. So. That's what I got for entertainment.
Oh, realism. Honestly, like, the movie was so slow that I checked out a lot. So it's like I watched the whole movie, but it's not like I was paying attention to like every little detail.
Shame on you. It's fair though, I get it.
Yeah. I don't know. I rated a 2.
This one is kind of difficult to rate because in the world that they've created, the universe that they've created for this franchise, they do stick to the rules predominantly. And I want to say it's in this movie that they establish that what the xenomorphs emerge out of plays a factor in what it looks like and how it moves. Because when it emerges from a human, while it can sometimes walk on like all fours, it predominantly like stands on 2 legs. When it came out of the ox, it ran on all fours.
Oh, like I saw that it was running on all fours, but I didn't connect the two. Yes. Okay, interesting.
They didn't use a person in a suit or a puppet in this one near as much. It was more CG. A lot more CG, which didn't age very well.
No, it's that type of CG where it looks like it was like copied and pasted.
It was like cut out of a green screen.
Yeah, it did not look great, no.
It didn't age very well at all. At the time, it was done really well. Because I remember watching it when I was fairly young, and at the time, it seemed like it was pretty decent CG. And it was fairly creepy, at least for a kid, you know? Watching it now, it's like, yeah, y'all are stupid. You need to go the other way. Like, it's... someone screamed that it's on the ceiling and none of you were looking up, kind of thing, like...
I just realized what... Okay, so the one realistic thing that I was just like... Or realism thing was, how did the xenomorph get on their ship in the first place?
I was coming to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, the only thing I can think of there is because the queen fought against her shortly after they landed. Like, they took the transport ship up from the mining planet to their ship to escape. And then she fought the queen there. Mm-hmm. If maybe she laid a couple of eggs before she came off the transport thing to attack them, that's a big ass maybe. Otherwise, the only other thing I can think of is somehow while they were running around trying to kill the other xenomorphs and find the girl, a couple of xenomorphs took a couple of the eggs and put it on their transport ship. And they hatched while there, and one of them made it into Ripley's cryotube after the battle was over, and the other one just kind of roamed around. Waiting for something to present itself, like the ox. We've seen before that they're extremely tolerant to ridiculous conditions. Like space.
Yeah.
So, like, cold does nothing to them, and you see that in other movies as well, in this franchise and one that crosses over. We haven't reviewed them yet. We'll get there eventually, I'm sure. So heat is really the only thing that kills them, apart from, bullets, but then you have a concern of acid spray. So, but this is one of the few, or the first movie, I think, that introduces the idea of what they emerge out of matters. I did take some points off for the xenomorph death because, again, extreme heat, like fire, is supposed to be able to kill it. So molten lead should certainly have killed it. But they had to make it explode with cool water from the sprinklers as well, which I guess you wanted to make it more dynamic for the movie. But if you do that, then some things and people should have been sprayed by acid. Stick to your own lore, at least. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Also, she said it was a queen after looking at the CAT scan, but you couldn't really tell that it was a queen. Not really. Like, she had a very distinctive head thingy. Head shape. It's like a crest, kind of, I guess. But you couldn't really honestly see it on the scan. So the fact that she came up with it immediately was just like, You sure?
It's like just because she's seen xenomorphs doesn't mean she's an expert on them. So,
yeah. I can see how she might also assume that just because the other xenomorph backed off instead of killing her.
Yeah.
But it could have just backed off because there was another xenomorph altogether in her. Like, there was no point in killing her. I also found it interesting that this one would just outright kill them. I mean, I guess at the time there was no queen for it to drag them off and keep them in storage, basically.
Yeah.
To be incubators. But it knew of a potential queen, so it could have been preparing. But instead, this one was just like, nah, I'm gonna kill everything on sight.
Yeah.
Just cuz.
Yeah, it's like they kind of revert back to the first movie in some ways.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's like if you're establishing lore in the second one, then why not? Is that I feel like they're just like, do away with the second one. We want to do her. I don't know.
Yeah. It was, again...
It's a mess.
Stick to your own lore. Please. If you have established lore, please stick to it. And if you change the rules, make there be a reason why you change those rules. Make it make sense. But otherwise, it's an alright movie. It's... Realism-wise, yeah, I think a 2 is fairly accurate. The interactions I can see happening, especially on an isolated prison planet and all. And she's been through a lot. And on her own for a good bit of it. And she just wanted to shut her brain off and have some kind of human connection. So I get that scene in particular. I agree with you that it wasn't really necessary. But I get it.
Well, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, of course, I just in general think that movies bring up like sex
they do
too often.
all the
so
time.
It's just like, it's just my personal opinion. But it's like thinking about the situation, it's like she's been through a lot of trauma. It's like, wouldn't she want to like decompress or something? I don't know. But maybe she was like using it as like a...
It was an escape.
Yeah.
I also want to know why it took so long for the xenomorph to excuse itself from her.
Excuse itself.
Well, I felt like burst out of her chest was a bit rough. So.
I mean, but accurate.
So in a lot of the other movies, and even in the first movie, like... The guy woke up a few hours later and it burst out of him. Like, the incubation period wasn't too long. But she had a good day, maybe 2, before she went to unalive herself. And it burst forth. And she held it to her and to take it with her. Like... it was just very convenient to the movie that it only appeared when she was trying to take it with her. Do the queens take a little bit longer to incubate? Or I want to know because it just seemed a little convenient.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I got.
Yeah, overall, stick with the first and second movies. I have nothing to say about any movies coming after this because I haven't seen them. But
you could honestly skip this one and the next one. And a lot of the others. But we'll get to that, I'm sure,
boy.
At some point.
Now we need to do more Predator movies. Because we've only done the first Predator movie and then Prey.
Yeah.
Which Prey was
that one was good.
Yeah, real good.
Honestly, those are the only two we really need.
I mean, I kind of find Aliens a little bit more interesting than Predator.
Yes.
But I do kind of want to watch Alien versus Predator.
You haven't seen that one even?
No, I don't keep up with these movies.
that one is worth seeing. That one is worth seeing.
So let us know below if you want us to cover that movie. But thank you for joining us today, and let us know what you thought of the movie. Be interested to see what everyone thinks about 3 and 4. Though no, don't tell me too much about 4.
No spoilies for her
surprise.
for the 4th.
But if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a Teespring and PayPal, or we have our affiliate link with Republic of Tea available. It does not affect the price of the tea, it just allows us to continue to do what we love. And you can find all of the sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy. Bye!